Previously on Stay in Your Lane.
To the comment about the CPU, it's pretty common practice. Produce is probably the most advanced um, perishable industry with real-time devices. It's pretty common practice, for example, berry shippers, regardless of if it's an FOB load or a delivered load, because of the value of that load and the fact that you're growing something on the ground, you might not have something to replace that if it does have a claim or rejection. The customer still needs something. They don't care how it's getting there. They're putting one on an FOB load every single time.
So, out of curiosity, the biggest the biggest challenge is, everyone is, the major distributors throughout the United States. It seems like they all have different contracts or different agreements with different providers.
Yep.
So, I guess the primary question that I have is who has approved the Tive units? Um, and like for some of our clients, they require temp monitors, which we're not using Tive. We're using a different company at the moment. Um, but my question is that like those clients require to be able to download, like oftentimes they'll look at it and herein lies the problem. So we're not using a GPS live time. We're using the recorders. It will show, the alarm bells or whatever the case may be, if there has been, if it's detected an issue, which in turn then they download. But if it doesn't alarm, oftentimes they don't even download them. They just throw them in the box and, or throw them in the garbage. And we never get any information back on those. So that's two of the things that I see for us being a primary challenge is approval of use, um, and can a customer, a client, consignee access that information in your system? So, for instance, if it's serial number 123, can they go into the Tive system and retrieve that information, or do you have to have a separate reader to download that unit? I'm just curious how that works on the consignee level. And then also who has actually approved it, because that's a huge thing for us.
Yeah, we have I mean, you're right. Everyone's got their certain sort of flavor they prefer, and we definitely have a team that goes after the retailers, the distributors, and beyond to get approvals, and can definitely share that list with you after the call. Definitely a lengthier thing to send over. Second to that, um, and I think what we've been talking about here is even if there is someone that says, no, you can't just use this device, you must use mine, there's certain areas or certain products or certain customers where a supplemental device still might be the strategy that you need to do. And so, like for our avocado shippers, our large beef packers, where these prices or these truckloads are $500,000, $200,000, whatever it may be, they make a decision that, hey, I'll put two devices. That's just what I need to do from an insurance perspective. And so that is a common strategy. To the comment of how do they get the data? We believe that every piece of the supply chain should be using the data. And the definite challenge with passive loggers is it is one-way access. It's a receiver access. And so with our solution, the way we set it up is we have a tool that we call collaboration, and it essentially allows every single stakeholder in the supply chain to get the access they need. Shipper, full visibility end to end. Carrier, getting alerts so that they know their truck is actually running hot too. And then receiver as well, getting all the information they need to quickly download, assess whether there's been an issue or not, and move on to the next task. With shippers of your size, Nathan, we've also seen that you all do have strong weight when it does come to the retailers and distributors. While you're not going to get every single one of your customers to agree to take the device you choose, there is going to be a large percentage of your customers that say, hey, if you think you can service me better, if you think you can keep my prices consistent, go ahead, do what you need to do and use whatever device as long as I can get what I need. And we've gone through a lot of those exercises with a lot of larger shippers who have been successful. Again, there's going to be some people who say no, but if you can consolidate to one or two or three devices as opposed to 12, that can help you, with this strategy.
I think we're currently at 7 throughout the country.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
we've heard that's not bad. We've heard 7, 12. Some
15.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
depends.
I can share this, Nathan. Many of the people that I do business with, they'll gladly throw the unit that they're using or you're using away with them by contract to get the Tive information. They're able to look if they'd like at any point in time and see that it was done real time in their system and tell the truck to back into door number 8 and he's good to take off. So I say if there are shippers that aren't interested in it, it doesn't take long for them to see the value as well. They normally come right around. If you can provide us with something equal or better, they're open to it, especially if you're not charging them more for it. Because let's be realistic, they're going to be part of the food safety changes in 13 and a half months or 13 months. They're going to be part of it. So there's going to be a push here in 13 months where I'd like to have Rajah's job in about 8 months because he's not going to have to sell them. They're going to be chasing him. Right, Raj?
If it's that easy, that'd be great. But I don't think I don't think it'll be that easy.
I think you're going to get plenty of pressure. Let's say
Yeah.
that. As we get closer to it, there's going to be pressure.
Yeah, I mean the conversations are enjoyable always. I mean everyone's got their different challenges they face. I think with Tide, if we do get a seat at the table, we do prove that the technology, or
And it
sorry, the
works.
results are backed up. The technology is backed up by the results. Um, I think for a lot of people, they just need to see it in action. And you all at Triple T took a nice approach. You started one area, you saw something, you expanded here, and you saw this one, and it just keeps on working, customer by customer.
I think that it's a value that we recognize is it's huge for us. I know with one shipper we saved about 8 loads over the summer from being losses. We protected the carrier from a claim, the shipper from the claim, a rejection on all 8 of those shipments, just through the summer months. So if their average value is low at $40,000, 8 times 40,000, you're talking about more than $250,000 in savings, and we didn't have any rejections. We were able to stay ahead of it throughout the process and continually still. So that impacts the insurance industry, the carrier also, us, the customer, our shipper, and everybody involved. All of that time to manage 8 large claims like that from a shipper, us, and a carrier, et cetera, all the way through the process, there's a big value there.
Well, and to your point, John, with anything, insurance is for emergencies. Nobody likes to pay for it, but they all like to have it when it does happen.
And you can't afford cheap
And
insurance, Nathan.
well, there's no such thing as cheap insurance. But to your point, if it's the same carrier and over, say, a year span, they had 8 claims for, their insurance company is either A, going to drop them, or B, their rates are going to be astronomical.
Right.
So, it is a win-win for everybody. Um, Nobody likes to see product lost, especially, when you consider the state of the world out there. Nobody wants to throw food in the dumpster. And so, yeah, I definitely want to learn more. So,
Well, I'll share with you. It was 8 different carriers on one different shipper that ships out of 3 locations, and the product was fresh cut produce. I can share that with you. But we saved 8 shipments from being losses. And even if it's 8 different carriers, that makes a big difference And from I would say our investment cost basically went from, $25 to almost $50 from a recorder perspective. But look what we were able to do with the information that we had real time. And that's aside of not even looking at the food safety mandate for beginning January 26. So now, if we just continue to do this, the shipper has access to all of this information. We can share it with them if they have a problem from a food safety perspective. We can get the information off the cloud and download it and send it to them from the system. So it's amazing what a little bit more revenue gets you from being a reactive situation to a proactive about every one of these situations. It's huge. But that's the solution, Nathan, that we've come up with, the best solution for all parties. No need to get a download. We're not paying for a download after a load's rejected. We're not taking a truck out of the market for a day while we get downloaded and figure out where to take the product that got refused. We're not returning back product to a shipper for them to QC it. I mean, when you start looking at all the things we're eliminating with these units, I think in the long term, you definitely see way more value than you see at the beginning of the conversation. But to share that with everybody in our industry, I think if you're moving towards a proactive approach and food safety requirements for 2026, beginning in 2026, better write down Rajah's information.
He's got my email. I'm sure he'll contact me.
Oh, I'm sure he'll contact you too. But for everyone listening, this has been an enjoyable, I would say, the enjoyable 3 episodes that I've been passionate about, because we don't want loss. We take a lot of pride in our job and how we handle our freight for our customers and our clients, and we take the ownership that goes along with that. So I'm probably more passionate than most about this subject matter, but we don't like failures. We want to exceed everyone's expectations. And for us, Tive has been a valuable part of our equation.
Thanks. Yeah, this has been a great conversation, guys. Appreciate it.
Okie doke. Nathan, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. And until next time, stay in your lane.